This is Bryson Fowler, Boss Talks on the Rooftop, season J Merrill Cigar Lounge. I started a whole new season because it's Boss Talks and Bourbons, but I'm doing it anyway because I want to do it how I want to do it, right? And today I have the greatest honor of introducing, man, my Masonic brother to my right, your left, and the owner of this establishment, Mr. Marques Evans. I want to call him Marques, but his name's Marques.
What's going on, everybody, man? Hey, I'm living, man. I'm living.
Man, you got us in your beautiful lounge, bro. It's a Tuesday. Guys, we usually shoot every Tuesdays. And so he ingratiated us to take over his lounge, harass his patrons. As you can tell in the back, he has a beautiful bar, beautiful humidor to my left, your right, and just behind me, we have a great bar, and it's ran by Mrs. Genesis at the bar.
Yes, it is. Yes,
So, why cigars, brother?
man, look, this was a journey that started with my pops. I was 19 years old, and my pops was like, son, you're a man, you know? You've done something that a lot of people didn't think you were gonna be able to do. And so we started this tradition because I grew up watching my dad and my grandfather smoke cigars.
Oh, wow.
And so that's how I got into cigars.
Right on.
My first cigar was a Padron anniversary Maduro, right? So I believe it was the 44 Maduro, and then a bottle of Lefroy Scotch.
Oh.
So never been a drinker, never been a smoker. Yeah, bro, but I mean, from that, it was a challenge. It was like, you know, I got sick on that cigar, and I told myself I'd never let that happen again.
Yeah.
So it was kind of one of those things where I transcended and dove myself into the culture and the community of cigars and what it's about and why, and the whole process and art form behind it.
Right, right. So you have been well versed in the world of cigars, right? So you're like 13, 14 years in the game?
Yep.
And then like you're what, a year or two now into Cigar Lounge?
1 year will be up in March 14th, 2026. 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, we're way out here in Roanoke,
Yep.
right? We're here with the muckety mucks, the highfalutes, the Hasididis, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So the biracials.
Wow. I feel like that was shots. That's crazy.
I'm shooting all
I
stuff.
know. I feel like that was
We got a
shots.
biracial
That's
in the building.
crazy.
He's one of my best friends, so you know, he's my
Man, that's
brother.
crazy.
So, I gotta shoot shots at him off camera. He can't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
So anyway, and if he does, we're gonna cut it and we're gonna re-release it any fucking way.
Golly.
So, bro, what made you come out to Roanoke and open up this beautiful lounge?
You know, I was looking at different places there are cigar lounges, right? You know, you get what we call traditional, or at least I call them traditional and non-traditional lounges, right? Of course, you got CI right there at Cabela's.
Yeah.
You know, you got Mike Peacock's place right there at Keller, but there was nothing like kind of in between. So it's like, let's provide the second living room and experience. That's at least what I call it, right?
Right.
You should come in and feel like you're at home, right?
Right.
You know, kind of like Cheers, where everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
Right? So come in. We already know what sticks you like. We already know what drink you like. Come in, relax, unwind, decompress from whatever the world is throwing your way, and have a good time. And it doesn't matter who you are, right?
Right.
I know you talk about being out here with, you know, the upper class and everything,
Yeah,
right?
the upper
But, I
echelon,
mean, it
the upper
doesn't-
crest.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, in my opinion, right? Just, and then again, this is my opinion. It doesn't matter who you are.
Right.
You could be a janitor, you could be a CEO, you could be, you know, somebody that's unemployed trying to figure things out when they're going to win and where they're going to land on their next spot, right? We got something here for you.
Absolutely. So, when you, I wanted you to talk about your research and studies because we talked a little bit, guys. I get little hidden gems, and we talk about the man is trying to gloss over how much he researched where he should open up his lounge.
Yep.
Right. So there's a method to the madness,
There
right?
is.
So, a man of the same hue as mine has a higher, keener mind than mine. So I gotta deep dive into that, brother.
As far as the thought process, right? When you look at this building and what all it offers, it was a building that offers a brewery that brews, you know, its own craft beer. It was a building that had multiple restaurants, right? And the one thing that I've noticed in the trends and everything as far as different cigar lounges all over DFW and whatnot is there's never food options right there with the cigar lounge, right? So this was like taking something and putting it in a smaller version of Legacy Hall and then throwing a cigar lounge in the back of it. That's like a speakeasy hidden gem.
Yeah, man.
So it was like an opportunity that I was like, that's a challenge and it's an opportunity that I can't pass up.
Right.
And so for me, it was like, yeah, let's go.
Absolutely. See, I like a speakeasy type of vibe, right? But I also like to have that big, gaudy, like larger than life feel to it.
Yep.
You know, so it has this larger than life feel to it, and you can still feel like you're at home in your man cave.
Right.
Like these big plush couches that are bigger than me. It swallows me. And that's crazy because I'm not a small man. I'm 6'3" that way. Like I'm wide and I feel like I'm sitting in the bucket right now.
Right.
And how'd you come up with the concept for your lounge?
So it's funny, right? So I go to different lounges all the time, right? I always travel around and kind of slip in and slip out of different lounges. And I would go to these lounges that have these chairs that are so uncomfortable to sit in.
Right.
So I was like, nah, I'm not doing that, right? Because I got some friends that are, bigger guys and they want to, sit down and have a good time, but they can't stay for a while because they're so uncomfortable in the chairs.
Right.
And so I was like, nah, let me put a chair in a lounge where somebody can sit back, kick their feet up, watch 3 playoff games, watch 2-3 NBA games, and be comfortable the whole time, right? Not sitting here shifting from one hip to the other.
Yeah, I get my old fashioned.
See, she already got you taken care of. She already got
I
you
interrupted
taken
him for
care
no fucking reason.
of. Got you taken care of already. See? Golly.
God damn, well, cheers to you on that.
So, just wanted to
Pardon my interruption, guys.
wanted to put something together where the chairs were comfortable, everybody could enjoy themselves and have a great time.
So, how'd you cut your bones into the cigar lounge? Because like a lot of cigar lounge owners, they start in other industries and then they're like, oh, I like cigars. Let me just start out.
So I always worked in different industries. I worked for GE as a senior HR director. I worked for Parkland Hospital. I worked for McKesson. I worked for so many different industries. But and one thing that stayed consistent was I always worked part-time in different lounges, right? So I was always in different lounges working part-time. And so I was always just kind of taking cues from the different lounges that I worked in saying, oh, I really like that, or oh, I really like this, or oh, they really did this right, or oh, I would have tweaked this or done this.
Right.
And so that's what kind of like really led me into, wanting to stop working for different lounges, but be a part of the whole community of the cigar industry and put together a lounge where everybody could come to and enjoy themselves.
Man. So you were also into sales at one point, right?
Yep. I was the sales rep for Luciano Cigars. Yep.
And then what's that experience like to go from like sales to owning a lounge?
It's different, right? So being a guy that was selling the products inside the Humidor at different lounges for so long, transitioning into that sales role, you would think it's an easy transition. And for some it can be. For others it can be kind of tough, right? Because I don't think a lot of people that work in lounges kind of see the glitz and glamour of the sales rep position. You're on the road, you're doing this, you're doing that, but you don't understand there's also a business mind to the back end of it, right? Like the expectations are they want you to be so productive that, so many people, especially that work in humidors and different lounges, they want to jump right into it. But it's like, if you don't know the product, you can't sell the product, right? And so me and my take on it, as far as being the sales guy to being the guy that owns the lounge and is back in the humidor selling it, just my personal opinion, I'd rather be on this side of it than anything, right? Because it's so shaky. 1 minute you've got a job, you come back from PCA, and the next minute a company is letting you go because your performance is not great, right? And that performance issue, they could be telling you on the calls, the sales calls, like, hey, you're doing this, we'd like to see this. But, their expectations are he could have sold 500 more boxes, XYZ, right? And that's cool, right? but is it real?
You got a sales quota to hit. Like,
Right.
you know, like I would tell my sales guys, hey man, I need you to do more. Like where you're doing 5 roofs, this month I need you to do 6.
Right, exactly.
You know? I mean, I get it.
Sometimes it is tough,
right?
especially for reps that down here in the Texas territory, right? Because some of these smaller companies like to give you a territory that's really, in my opinion, it's great, but it can be also sometimes unrealistic, right?
Right.
Like realistically, you have 4 weeks in a month, right? In 4 weeks, are you really going to hit Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Arkansas?
That's damn near impossible.
No, you're not going to do it.
There's 120 lounges in Dallas
Alone.
DFW alone.
You know, and then you still talking about, you know, at least 80 something in Houston. It's going to take you at least a week just to get through.
They're so spread out.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's a lot of windshield time, brother.
It's a lot of windshield time. It's a lot of time to yourself, but it's also a lot of phone calls, follow-ups. And if you're a smaller brand, some of these lounges don't want to hear what you got to say.
Right.
They don't want to see the boutique brands. They want somebody they want the brands that are already established.
That can
not
be
knocking
easily
boutique.
moved,
Exactly.
you know?
Because customers are familiar with them. It's easier.
Right. Because, I mean, like, if you go somewhere, you're going to see Nike or you're going to go Adidas.
Right.
And then you see this Shoe Barn shoe over here.
Right. You're going to pass that up every time.
Yeah. And not to compare boutique cigars to Shoe Barn, it's just the illustration of name brand versus non-name brand, not big name.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of boutique cigars that are phenomenal.
Absolutely.
And you know, I wanted to get away from the term premium cigars. I like the term luxury cigars.
Absolutely.
Right.
I agree with that.
Because if we talk about premium tobacco, you can go, okay, well, pipe tobacco is premium tobacco.
Correct.
Cigarettes, they can say their tobacco is premium tobacco.
Exactly.
So if you go into, and that's why we're having the legislation issues that we're having now. Because what is a cigar? What is tobacco?
Yeah.
And if you don't,
how do you differentiate?
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, because like you have to say, okay, describe what a cigar is. It's nothing but chalked up leaves with adhesive legume gum.
Yep.
Right. And a cigarette is a whole different component.
Correct.
And it has different chemicals that alter it. So when you say premium cigars, be more specific and say you're using luxury tobacco.
Correct.
Right. So I think that's another thing that we want to debunk and move forward with in our process.
Right.
So I wanted you to do your parlor trick, right? I wanted you to show guys. This is where I want him to show us how to dissect a cigar. This is where you cut your cigar open and you actually identify what leaves are in there and see why is your cigar not smoking right. Why is it burning the way it does? Like you have that canoe issue sometimes. Now, I don't recommend you do it from all, and some brands have them more than others.
Right.
So we're not going to disclose the brand that we're cutting open.
I think the statistic goes like for every box of 20, there's at least one cigar in the box that you get that you may have issues with, right?
Right.
So 1 out of 20 isn't, really bad odds, right?
Right. So I mean, so every 100, that's 5.
Yeah, I mean, but because you got to think about it, these factory floors where the rollers are sitting on, they're there working for pennies on the dollar that the company is actually earning, right? Let's just be real about it, right?
Right.
They may earn 35 cents for every cigar that they roll that day, right? So their mindset is, I'm going to roll through them. And some of these companies don't take the same approach as far as quality control that others do because it may cost them a little bit more, right? They may be a smaller brand, right? Or they may be stuck on, old traditions. That's nothing wrong with that. Me, over the years, I've kind of noticed certain things and been able to kind of spot certain things or feel for certain things and pay attention to a few items along the way in looking at my cigars.
Okay. Well, go ahead and bust it down for us real quick. Hey, you got a close up on? Do it on both if possible. So TikTok guys, TikTok fam, hey, you can follow us on Instagram and get a close up on the live during the Instagram, or you can stay right here if you can see it. He'll explain what he's doing right now, and I'm gonna let him do his thing. So
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just checking to see if I was ready. While you're doing that, I'm gonna cut my cigar with my Kingpin Luxury Cutter. You can pick it up right here at J Merrill, and then I'm gonna light my cigar with my Kingpin Luxury torch. You can pick right up at kingpinluxury.com or J Merrill Cigar Lounge.
Yep. You ready? So, the first thing I'm looking at when I look at a cigar, right, is sometimes I'm paying attention to any veins or any veins basically showing through the wrapper of the cigar, right? I'm paying attention to how that leaf was rolled on that actual cigar. So before I cut into it, I'm paying attention to those veins. I'm just gonna cut into it just down the middle, right? I'm gonna go back up because I just want to cut the wrapper off, right? So then, just gonna peel this wrapper.
That ashtray in front?
Yeah, I got you. So then I'm just gonna peel this wrapper back, right? Peel the wrapper back and just take a look and see if I can still see those same veins. What I'm looking for is, again, sometimes quality control is not one of the things that, is most highest on the list, right? Sometimes it's about putting out a product, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, it sometimes deteriorates a customer from buying that product. So I'm gonna go back down it one more time here, just make sure I'm getting through it. Unravel.
And what you just took off was the binder, correct?
Yep. That last part that just came off was the binder with the wrapper. So I'm gonna get here and get into the filler. And so what I'm feeling for is stems. And I think I see one. Yeah, I see a few of them.
So you already see a few stems.
Yeah. And again, this plays a factor in, sometimes how it's smoking. And I'm just unraveling it, right? So like you see that one there?
Hold it up for them.
So like there's a stem right there, and I'm looking at it, that's a vein. It's another vein, tobacco vein, tobacco vein, tobacco vein.
So when you're saying tobacco vein, what does that mean? Is that like a stem?
So a stem is thicker than a vein. The vein is the vein that runs through the leaf, right? It's okay to have veins. The stems can sometimes get in the way of as far as the construction of the product to where, see, there's a big one right there. Getting the construction of the product to where if it's actually roll tight, you can't take a draw poker and move that stem around, right? You can't take a draw poker and move something like this around. What happens is you'll start smoking it and you'll notice you're not getting the draw that you want, right? You're not getting the airflow through there because it can't move, it can't burn, right? It gets to this point and it burns only to a certain degree and then it stops or it keeps going out. And then some people think, oh, well, maybe I set it down too long. No, sometimes it's not getting enough airflow. Being rolled too tight and then having something like this in it can ruin somebody's experience, right? Because to them, they'll think about it and go, oh, I'll never buy that again. I don't suggest that you never buy it again. I think, in terms of this industry, you should definitely try something at least 2 or 3 times, right? I definitely recommend, smoke it once. If you didn't like it, if the construction on it was wrong, whatever, right? Go back maybe a few weeks later and try it again, a month later, 2 months later, and go back and try it again and see if maybe just your palate needed to adjust or the construction of it was wrong and you picked up 1 out of that 20.
Wow. And see, that's another part to it, is like the construction of the cigar versus your palate.
Correct.
Right. And so that's why it's so important to understand. Can you touch that real quick? That's why it's so important to understand the difference between your palate, if what you've eaten or your
Plays
your,
a major part.
you
You
know,
know, if
your,
you eat tomato
drinking.
products before trying to smoke a cigar, sometimes it'll throw it off, right?
Right.
Sometimes having, like the salsa or, any of those tomato products can really take your experience from something that you enjoyed time and time again to where you think, oh no, I'm over that. Like that wasn't it, you
Right.
know, and sometimes it was just, residual leftover on your palate from what you ate.
Right.
That's why I always recommend and tell people like, hey, try dark chocolate before you go smoke something, right? Like if you just finished eating, don't walk right into the lounge. Try a piece of dark chocolate.
Right.
Because dark chocolate is like a palate cleanser, and it's almost like resetting your palate to where it starts over fresh, so that you can enjoy the richer notes in that cigar, and be able to distinguish those notes and enjoy the cigar over time.
Right. So I'm gonna shift gears, right?
Yep.
Y'all had your fill of cigar talk? Yeah, maybe. We got more. Because I wanted to go into a little deep dive into the man himself, because I'm very proud of him. He's a veteran. He served in our military forces. He's a Marine. Correct? Army. My fault. I thought you was kind of a crash out, but
No. Wow, that's crazy. Hey, that's crazy.
Shout out to my Marines. That's why I love them. But shout out to my man who served in our Army, and he's also a Masonic brother of mine who does wonderful philanthropy things for our community. Tell us about your toy drive that you just did.
Oh boy. So we did a toy drive for the Grand Lodge of Texas, Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Texas, most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Texas. We did a toy drive. I partnered with an organization that comes in. They come in and support me. They're actually back there right now. They come in all the time, right?
Shout out Stogie Cartel.
Shout out Stogie Cartel for sure.
Yeah.
So partnered with them. They said, hey, we want to help you out with this. We want to do a toy drive. I said, let's do it. So we held a big party here on December 12th and raised about $2,500 worth of toys.
Nice.
So I then shared that information and then turned around and had another, $2,000 to $2,500 donated along with that. So
you raised over $5,000
Yep.
for a toy drive for Christmas. Hey man, that's big time. That's big moves, bro. I'm proud of you, bro. Keep doing your thing. Next go around, let me know. Let Boss Talks know so we can be a part of that and we can promote it and get behind you on that.
For
to be
sure.
honest. So, what's the next move for you?
I don't know yet. There's plenty of talks. There's, talks of another location. There's talks of doing something like, Henry's, doing a restaurant and cigar lounge together. There's, talks of, obviously growing this location, right?
Right.
And then I've even been throwing around the idea of putting together my own cigar. So, I mean, there's plenty of things that we definitely hear the J Merrill team, right?
Right.
We have on the table, and we're definitely contemplating, and we're blessed to be able to do some of the things that we're able to do. But we just, we're wrapping up 1 year thinking, okay, where are we at, right? Because it hasn't even been technically a full year yet. We won't see that full year until March.
Wow, and you're already humming like you're running right now, bro. So we're gonna get behind you, keep you rolling. Have you narrowed down to your palate? Where does your palate particularly gravitate towards?
It's tricky, man. Like some days, I really enjoy the Habano, right? Like some days I really enjoy, a shade-grown Habano. And then there's other days that I really love, that rich, with a little bit of spice, Mexican San Andreas, right?
Yeah.
I'm finding out that I really do like a lot of tobacco out of Esteli, but I really love the tobacco out of Jalapa Valley, right? Really, really love that tobacco. I don't know what it is about it. I'm trying to narrow it down
big
now.
On spice?
I am big on the spice,
my
man.
God.
I am big on the spice. I love the spice. Especially, getting into like the retro hells on some of these like richer, earthier notes and stuff. It really resonates with me because I sit here in the lounge all day.
You're right.
And so it's something that like I can go back and retro hell after sipping some Weller 12 and go, yep, there it is, right there, right?
Yeah.
Just like having a Weller 12 neat and getting a little spice on the back end, right? Getting that little tingle. It's like, yeah, I got that.
You don't get that hint of cinnamon?
On the back end? A little bit, sometimes. Yeah, sometimes.
Now, for those of you that don't know what retro hell is, explain to them what a retro hell is. It ain't that.
It ain't that. I knew he was gonna do that though. That's crazy. So, that's crazy. You set me up for that. Yeah, you did that. You were good one for that one. That's crazy.
I did, man. I did. Oh, cut it out, man. You know, the live is live. It is what it is.
Retro hell is, being able to kind of enjoy it on your palate and then push the smoke out through your nose, right? Kind of keeping the mouth closed and still being able to get those flavors and notes, and then basically securing the richness of those notes and being able to identify it.
That's pure greatness, man. I'm a big fan.
Set
of that.
me up for that.
Yeah,
One. That's
did.
crazy. Yeah, I saw it too. I was like, boy, he got me. He got me.
Hey.
Okay.
He walked right into it.
Yeah, I did.
He walked right into it. I just closed the door.
I appreciate that. That's crazy.
So, my bro, how can we find you? How can we connect with you?
You can find us on Facebook and Instagram, J Merrill Cigar Lounge. We actually do have a TikTok. I need to get back on that TikTok and get that back rolling again. And then if you want to stop in and see us, we're at 206 North Oak Street, Suite 120. Walk to the back of the food hall. You'll find the wooden door. No need to knock, just open and walk right in.
Walk right in, sit right down. Bryson's gonna smoke with you.
You doing Jamie Foxx jingles now? That's crazy.
I'm telling you, man, I just came up with it. I just looked right off the dome. But hey, guys, those on the live, stay tuned, and those that are watching the pre-recorded, hey, go on to the next episode. We have a very next guest coming up. So people on TikTok, stay tuned. People on the IG Live, stay tuned. YouTube Live, stay tuned. So guys, make sure you tune into the lives. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the channel, share the lives, comment, and like and subscribe. Remember, storms don't last, but your home should. Peace. Two fingers. Thank you, buddy.